Jolan Trun, welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy. And before we get to the next new arc, I just want to do another beginner's video again today because there's a lot people are asking about the early stages of the game. And one of the things is about the faction stores and what should I get there, what should I not get there. And that's what I quickly want to talk about in this video. And if we go to the factions, and I want to start, or usually stick to the three main factions, the FKR factions. That's the Federation, the Klingon, and the Romulans. And there you see a lot of things you can buy, from recruit tokens to commendation ranks to materials, and up to ship blueprints and the badges for officer upgrading, ship cloaking shards, and of course more and more ship blueprints. And that's where we are already. The main thing I usually get from the faction stores are the ship blueprints, because that's your main source for the blueprints. In the earlier stages of the game, you will be a little bit successful by grinding ship blueprints via hostiles. But it really gets harder with a growing amount of blueprints you need. You see here, for example, the Crozier. I need 350 to build the Crozier. And I got another 113 from just grinding hostiles and from Armada packs. But this is since I last time built the Crozier, which is quite a long time ago. And so for a long time now, I'm depending on the faction store to get ship blueprints. And that's the same with the Klingons now. I showed you that recently in another video. I didn't want the favors here. That I already have the blueprints now for the Koskari, and I will build it as soon as I get the shipyard for it. But I almost got all of them via the faction store. And that's why I say I'm really concentrating on ship blueprints here. In the earlier stages, or before I get to the earlier stages, the same is about the cloaking shards. If you want to have a cloaking device for a ship, you have to get it via the faction store. But what I wanted to say about the early stages is the normal recruit tokens you can get here might be useful in the earlier stages of the game. So if you have an officer bottleneck, or if you are targeting a certain officer that you can get with the normal Federation recruit tokens, for example, it might be wise to get recruit tokens here. And the normal ones are, let's say they have a reasonable pricing. You see, I can get 100 for 100 Federation credits, 500 recruit tokens. That's a very different thing than the elite Federation recruit tokens. Some people still might say they are useful to them, but those are the ones I'm not buying, but the normal ones I got. And they will get better in time. You see, with rising levels, they get cheaper. Here in Federation Recruit 3, the 500 tokens only cost 60. And so they get cheaper. And then here, 3,000 tokens cost 300. That's like 50 per 100. And no, not even. That's 10 per 100. And then you really can complete some officers here. And of course, if in the meantime you have trouble with upgrading officers because you're not having the badges, if you have the minor commendations, you can get the badges. That's absolutely no problem. Get the badges that you need as long as you have those commendations. What I will tell you not to get, and I said it in a separate video, is the commendation ranks. Only get those commendation ranks when it's required by a mission. Otherwise, do not spend faction credits on these commendation ranks because you don't need them. You get them in all three factions, but you usually only need every one of these once for a mission. And so just wait for a mission to demand that, then get that commendation rank, and after that forget them again. But don't buy them. I also usually do not buy materials in here because they often don't bring enough to be worth it. It might be different later in the other factions when you have the bigger containers here, like the material exchange. They sometimes might be worth it, but it's always a little bit of a game of luck because they usually show chances. So it's something I'm sometimes might get in a material spend event just to try to get the last pieces I need if I'm lacking a little bit of it. But usually you don't get what you need in that moment, and so it's nothing I regularly do. But in the later factions that are not FKR factions, you might want to do it from time to time, but it's nothing I do regularly. But in the normal factions, I never got any materials here via the faction store unless I need something like 3-star ore, which happens that I get missions nowadays where they say spend that and that amount of 3-star ore. Yeah, then I just click a button here and do the mission. But that's the only reason why I would do that. So to sum it up, for me, the FKR faction stores, most importantly, are for ship blueprints and cloaking shards. Everything else is not my top priority here. And in some cases, in the earlier stages of the game, if you need the normal Federation, Romulan or Klingon recruit tokens, you can go for them. They might be helpful from time to time to get you out of a bottleneck for officers, but it's not a standard thing I'm doing regularly. And with the later factions that came in, there's of course a lot of things now with artifacts, with chaos tag, with certain very important officers, like PvP officers and stuff. There that changes. There you really have to think about what is my strategy at the moment. So from that point you will pick what to get here. So there's nothing in these newer faction stores where I would say you should not get that one. That really depends on your strategy. Of course, there are certain favors. I talked about this with a single faction store videos, where when there are certain favors you should get, but the officers, the artifacts, the chaos tech, that all belongs into the area. What is your priority at the moment? Your personal priority, your personal strategy. So there's nothing as general as I could say about the FKR factions. If you want to add something about what to get from the faction stores, then please write in the comments below the video and on Discord. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.